This is your boy, AIK Cross 84, and I'm coming at you with my last minute review for AC Unity and Dragon Age Inquisition. Assassin's Creed Unity, made on the Havoc engine, made by Ubisoft. This is, Lord knows how many in the Assassin's Creed title, and this actually feels fresh. The Havoc engine, I gotta mention, has had a big year this year, and if you don't know what the Havoc engine does, it is a game engine that controls the physics, the AI destruction. It basically controls the reality of the game world. The Havoc engine has had a big year in 2014. They've had 15 years in business, and they've been featured in over 500 titles. Honestly, turn and look at your wall and you'll see that a good number of those games were actually made on variations of the Havoc engine. This is something I didn't notice before, which is pretty impressive. A great way to start out 2015. Let's start with the most important of Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity is the Unity which leads us into multiplayer, and multiplayer is some of the most fun you're gonna have with this game. The story kind of plays out this, not exactly the same. It's a new plot or whatever, but it's the same kind of thing you would expect from Assassin's Creed game. You get to meet a lot of historical figures. You get to see these picture-by-picture versions of this picture-by-picture version of Paris, excuse me, and you get to kind of run around and interact with the world and interact with these people and affect history and all that good stuff. Everything you would expect from Assassin's Creed is here, with new additions to their combat, which I didn't think I'd enjoy, and found it to be one of the most enjoyable things about the game is the combat. And that's kind of what gives multiplayer its great feel, because each person fights a different way, each person uses a different tactic, because the combat is a lot harder than it has ever been in an Assassin's Creed game. No more instant kills. You really have to pay attention in fights when you're fighting these huge groups, and at the beginning point you're not even able to take 2 guys, much less 5. But this was a really great direction for them to go into. Also, everyone isn't a parkour master anymore, so now you climbing up the buildings is an actual viable way to escape. So there's harder combat on the ground, but there's not too many people who can actually follow you on the roofs. When you find snipers up there in their perches, they don't leave their perches, and when they do leave their perches, they're going straight down to the ground. So the parkour and the improvements to the parkour, it takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to it, you understand why they've changed the parkour as they have. Because going up and down and kind of parkouring over buildings is a very important way to escape in a lot of missions, especially in multiplayer when you have, your other players can attract a lot of attention. Love the customization menu. It let you customize a good bit of the pieces and let you kind of form your own little outfit and your own little assassin, so that when you went in multiplayer you didn't feel like everybody was the same guy. And I haven't been in multiplayer yet and actually seen another player who dresses the way I do, because as you can see me going through these menus, you see that each piece of equipment is set up so that you have to actually use them based on your play style. So the reason why I look all hardcore like this is because I have my character set up for my own play style. And there are a lot of second party apps. One, the Initiate app, can really tell you what sort of player you actually are, which can really help you plan out what kind of armor and what kind of weapons you want to use, as well as the other app, the second-hand app. I thought was really interesting. You could use it to solve puzzles, and it would actually open up things in the game world. So you're seeing a lot of blend of using these extra screens and all this kind of stuff. The level up system was really good. You had your ability points, and then you had your actual experience, which counts in to give you your title of what kind of assassin you are right now as Arno in your little assassin order. But a lot of the things they gave you before that you probably took for granted for this title, you actually have to purchase. So you have to get up to the point to be that kind of hardcore assassin. The story and Arno itself, I think, is one of the more thought out stories that we've actually seen for Assassin's Creed. Arno's very relatable. He actually kind of takes some very serious moments and makes them funny. So I really like Arno, and also like the relationship they play between him and the Templars. And I'm glad we're kind of seeing a breakaway from Desmond and the kind of thing they had going on. I didn't really like Desmond. But Assassin's Creed Unity, hundreds of hours of gameplay, tons of activities, tons of fun to play with other people. If you want to start out in Assassin's Creed, you should definitely start here, or at least that's my personal opinion. And you've seen enough to make an opinion of your own. Alright, that's all I got for
Tell me why we shouldn't kill you now. The Conclave is destroyed. Everyone who attended is dead. Except for you.
What do you mean everyone's dead?
Explain this.
I can't.
Dragon Age Inquisition, made by BioWare, the kings of RPGs. This was made on the Frostbite engine, which is very popular at EA. If you haven't noticed, a lot of games made on the Frostbite engine, which was actually made by EA Digital CE, which stands for EA Digital Creative Entertainment, which is actually where you get the name EA Dice. That's what it actually stands for. I didn't know that. I don't know if other people knew that, but I myself did not know that. It also runs on what's called SpeedTree. And I thought this was pretty interesting. SpeedTree is a program that generates virtual foliage and vegetation for animation as well as architecture. So all the architecture and foliage and that sort of thing was actually handled by SpeedTree, which is distributed by IDV. So let's jump into this thing and jump right into this. As you're looking at this menu, it's a return to the old school, with a lot of new school in it. You can see a lot of the flavor of MMOs and a couple of very popular games that came out. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but this took a lot of tropes from a lot of the very popular games of last season, and I noticed. I don't know if they wanted me to notice, but I noticed that a lot of the things that were very cool about other games, they kind of innovated into this one, which built something that was completely innovative on its own. So I'm not really calling them copycats, I'm just saying I noticed where the inspiration comes from. But it is a good return to the old school with a little bit of the new school. I think we all remember that Dragon Age Origins had a completely different combat system from Dragon Age 2. And in Dragon Age Inquisition, I know a lot of the developers don't really want you to make this direct link, but you do see a lot of Dragon Age Origin and Dragon Age 2 in this. But it's a good return to a more kind of streamlined inventory where you're not like managing every piece, but there is a huge customization element in this where you can customize your armor piece by piece. You can do arms, legs, that sort of thing, and build something that's really unique to your own hero, but not so unique because we're all finding the same parts out there, but you get what I mean. The level up system is also perfect for people kind of adjusting their character to their play style. As you can see, I'm playing a warrior. A couple of these are different playthroughs, so I'm playing a warrior, I think, on this playthrough. And I found the system very fun to play with when you were trying to kind of build something that works with the way that you play. The strategic menu too was a great addition. Like I said, that's where you see the real like kind of direct link between the two games, aside from the very amazing story, is in the combat. And you can see I'm kind of swinging. I'm in real time here, but you see me several times zoom out to that pause menu where I can actually tell my people to go what to do and that sort of thing. So it's very good having that control over your other characters and all that. So my favorite part about this game, and I don't know for anybody else, but my favorite part about this game was actually the war table. Being able to send out my Inquisition soldiers here or there and opening up new lands with my resources and all that sort of thing. And you get to see an immediate effect from a good number of these missions. And I'm not sure or not, but I'm pretty sure in the multiplayer you're actually playing the characters who went through these sort of things and that sort of thing, the Inquisition soldiers themselves. So that's a really cool tie-in to all this, and the story has a really cool tie-in to all the rest of the story. They even have this thing, the Dragon Keep, which if you haven't played the game using the Dragon Keep, go back and play the game through again using the Dragon Keep, because the Dragon Keep is this huge tapestry that allows you to decide what you did in the first two games. And I mean, I switched systems when the next gen systems came out, so I can't exactly get my Dragon Age data, but being able to go on and use the Dragon Keep to kind of decide what the state of the world is in when you start the game. And I've done this 3-4 times just to see if it was truly different, and the beginning of the game is actually truly different. Things they say, all these sort of things are truly decided by all those decisions you made up to here. So, you know, I think BioWare took a real good look at the mistakes they made with Mass Effect and really took that in consideration when it came to this game. So you're definitely getting that out of it, and you're definitely getting a return from a lot of the things that I know I complained about and you complained about. I still beat the last game, but I had a lot of complaints. But you still get to see those effects from the last game. I don't want to spoil anything here, but honestly, this game's been out for a little while, so I shouldn't be spoiling anything at all. But honestly, you get to play with the characters from the last game, depending on what you decided happened to them in the last two games. I actually got to play with a character from Dragon Age 2, the main character from Dragon Age 2. I thought that was a great add-in to say, yeah, these are different people, you know, and that's something we don't really see in a lot of RPGs that we saw last season that were very popular. We don't really see those additions and those kind of tie-ins and that sort of thing. I do have my complaints, however. This is a port. Yes, I understand that this is a port. But the animations in this game were very, very buggy. And they were very, very much something that you would see on the last gen systems. And I noticed, especially at 120 frames, I noticed my TV is hardcore. And it definitely showed that those animations were a little wonk. And there are tons of glitches that I hope that BioWare addresses. They're tiny little glitches, but they are so annoying. Music not showing up at the right time. Conversation blinkers just turning off. Bits of conversation coming while you're just walking around and whatnot. Movie scene parts playing when you're already out of the scene. Those things are kind of ridiculous. Here you got a good chance to see the multiplayer, what I'm talking about. And the multiplayer itself is very reminiscent of something like Champions of Norath or something very close to what you would see with your MOBAs. You can tell they definitely thought about what's popular right now and what's going on right now. But it is a lot of fun to play with other people. And this brings me to my last point. My one favorite thing about this game is the music in this game. The songs are just pure beautiful, and they're songs that stick with you, and they're songs that are very, very memorable. Like, that's something that you saw built from the Lord of the Rings movie and all those sort of things. They really thought about that and brought in that movie culture, brought in that sort of thing to give you a entertainment package. Well, that's pretty much all I got, and that is my review for Dragon Age Inquisition. From that, you can make your own decision about whether you want to go out and pick up Assassin's Creed Unity or Dragon Age Inquisition. I enjoyed both titles, despite all the glitches, despite all that. But I'm sure a lot of people have waited some time for these games to come out. I would say now's the time to go and pick them up. Now, this is your boy, AIK Cross 84. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the PlayStation.